Festival is calling for submission of entries. With this year's theme, United in Love. If you are a Filipino video content creator, show us your best work for a chance to represent the Philippines. Deadline of submission is on August 30, 2019. For inquiries, visit or contact the following.
Hi! I am Teacher Sally and this is Kid Kuwento, one of Net25 Kids' online shows. Kid Kuwento is now on TV. You can watch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 to 4:30 p.m. Also watch Anong Sa Inyo with Ate DJ every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 to 4:30 p.m. Sa Kid Kuwento, ang aming motto ay, Let's all read to succeed! Hooray! Kita-kita tayo ha! Bye-bye!
Mga isyung panlipunan. Mga isyung pampolitika. Tatalakayin, lilinawin, kasama ang mga batikang komentarista, Congressman Dante Marcoleta at Jen Sobartiaga sa Ganang Mamamayan. Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga.
Sa pagbubukas ng ika-4 na season ng Negosyo, Asenso at iba pa, tila hindi lamang pinto ang nagbukas sa ating programa dahil malugod tayong pinatuloy sa bahay ng bago nating kasangga. Pinagkakatiwalaan sa pagninegosyo ang Department of Trade and Industry. Kaya naman papasalan natin ang buong Mimaropa para ipatingin, ipatikim, ipadama at iparinig ang iba't ibang kwento ng pag-asenso dahil sa pagninegosyo. Kaya naman linggo-linggo, alas 5:30 ng hapon, manood, matuto, magnegosyo. Dito lamang sa programang nagbibigay ng impormasyon at inspirasyon sa pagninegosyo. Ito ang inyong lingkod, Francis Chis Garcia, at ito ang Negosyo, Asenso at iba pa.
At labas ng bansa, Agila, Balita. Yun din ang masariwang pangyari sa mga lalawigan. Sa Agila, Probinsya, ihimayin ang mga pangyayari sa Asia, hatid ng ASEAN InFocus. Pati na ang mga kaganapan sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo sa Eagle News International. Huwag palampasin ang mga pinakahuling pangyayari sa mata ng Agila. Mga balitang makabuluhan.
OSN network in the Middle East and North Africa.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows on OSN Channel 725, same day as the Philippines.
Net25 shows live and on demand anytime, anywhere.
On any mobile device on OSN Play.
Hi everyone! Word Hope will be having all new episodes very soon. We can't wait for all of you to join us again as we learn many things. We will have loads of fun learning new words and values as well. So, stay tuned to Net25 Kids every Saturday and Sunday, 8:30 to 9 a.m. only on Net25.
We're working to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN InFocus. I'm Maricar Velasco delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines. Malacanang on Tuesday downplayed an argument that President Rodrigo Duterte is surrendering Philippine sovereignty by not aggressively pursuing an arbitral ruling against China's massive claims in the disputed West Philippine Sea. Taiwan has extended its 14-day visa-free entry privilege for Filipinos until July 2020, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Manila announced Tuesday night. Indonesia and Australia are in preliminary talks about making a joint bid for the 2020 World Cup. Malacanang on Tuesday downplayed an argument that President Rodrigo Duterte is surrendering Philippine sovereignty by not aggressively pursuing an arbitral ruling against China's massive claims in the disputed West Philippine Sea.
It is absolutely fallacious to argue that the President is surrendering our sovereignty by not aggressively pursuing the arbitral ruling.
2016, the Hague-based Permanent Court of Arbitration, or PCA, ruled in favor of the Philippines' arbitration case filed against China's 9-dash line, which nearly covers the whole of WPS or South Sea. Duterte has decided to temper raised the ruling maybe once before his term ends in 2022. Panelo defended Duterte from critics anew, citing how a provision in the Constitution stipulates that the Philippines renounces war as an instrument of national policy, which explains the chief executive's decision to resort to diplomatic means in dealing with the sea row.
The President's measured tact, as I described it before as calibrated responses, is consistent with this Section 2, Article 12. The Philippines renounces war as an instrument of national policy and adopts the generally accepted principles of law or policy, peace, equality, justice, freedom, cooperation, and amity.
Will only precipitate or trigger an armed conflict that could escalate into continuing bloody encounters detrimental to the national interest. Contrary to critics' claims, Panelo said the Duterte administration has maintained claims with respect to the country's territory and executive economic zones, or EEZs, while maintaining friendly relations with all nations.
That this administration has been filing diplomatic protests against the activities of China and their elements. We have been raising specific issues and concerns through bilateral consultation mechanism. We have been fighting for and enjoining other countries and crafting a code of conduct that will be observed by all stakeholders in the disputed areas of water. So we reiterate, we remain steadfast in maintaining our claims with respect to our territory and exclusive economic zones.
President Rodrigo Duterte on Tuesday night discouraged courts from issuing injunctions for criminal cases.
Itong mga korte minsan, I hope you stop the practice of issuing injunctions. Lalo na
Duterte, a former prosecutor, said that there has to be not only a semblance, a clear and convincing evidence before an injunction is issued.
Because I know it is always, itong mga korte minsan, I hope you stop the practice of issuing injunctions, lalo na sa mga kasong kriminal. Do not do that. Do not hurry up things, because I know it is always pera-pera yan.
An injunction is a court order requiring a person to do or cease from doing a specific action, while a mandamus is a court order requiring a person to properly fulfill official duties.
Either stopping or prohibiting a government entity or persons from doing it, or a mandamus compelling us to do something which we think are really, really very wrong.
Dozens of shipping containers full of waste will be returned to France and other developed countries, Indonesia said Tuesday, as Southeast Asian nations increasingly reject serving as dumping grounds for international trash. Of import rules, according to customs officials on Batam Island. Customs Office spokesman Sumarna said they are coordinating with the importer to immediately process their return. The waste came from the United States, Australia, France, Germany, and Hong Kong, he added. Last month, Jakarta returned 5 containers of waste to the United States, joining a chorus of Southeast Asian nations that are increasingly unhappy about being used as dumping grounds for trash from Western countries. China's decision in 2018 to ban imports of foreign plastic waste threw global recycling into chaos, leaving developed nations struggling to find places to send their waste. Huge quantities of rubbish have since been redirected to Southeast Asia. In May, neighboring Malaysia vowed to ship back hundreds of tons of plastic waste. The Philippines, meanwhile, returned about 69 containers of rubbish back to Canada last month, putting an end to a diplomatic row between the two countries. Around 300 million tons of plastic are produced every year, according to the Worldwide Fund for Nature, with much of it ending up in landfills or polluting the seas in what has become a growing international crisis.
Ada botol yang seperti ada minyaknya, nah itu yang kita lihat, baunya menyengat, nah itu kan patut dicurigai. Gitu. Begitu dibuka kontainernya bau, nah tapi kan tidak semua. Iya. Ya.
Yang ada beberapa yang memenuhi kriteria, ada yang tidak memenuhi kriteria. Yang memenuhi kriteria maka kita akan rilis, bisa dilanjutkan untuk proses selanjutnya. Yang tidak memenuhi kriteria kita akan proses lebih lanjut.
More than 220 mayors across the U.S. gathered in Honolulu for their annual conference. Our Hawaii correspondent Alfred Asanas had a chance to meet one of those mayors who takes pride in his years of public service and most notably in his family's history.
During a press briefing by the United States Conference of Mayors, Honolulu Mayor Kirk Caldwell introduced Eagle News to Mayor Christopher Cabaldon of West Sacramento, California. What caught us off guard was how Cabaldon introduced himself.
So I am the senior Filipino-American mayor in the United States. I've been mayor since 1998 in West Sacramento, California. So I've been to many of these annual conferences, but it's great to be here in Hawaii with the representation of the Philam community. You know, this is where my great-grandparents and grandfather came from the Philippines to California. It was through Honolulu.
Given his decades as a public servant, Cabaldon looked forward to working with other U.S. mayors in their 4-day annual meeting to learn innovative ways to better serve his constituents back home.
So at this meeting, we're both working hard around big national policies around immigration and infrastructure and innovation. Pilot projects, what are the lessons that they're learning, and bring them back home, whether it's transportation or back home to West Sacramento.
The Filipino-American also briefly shared his vision for West Sacramento in regards to current issues such as climate change.
Yeah, climate change is affecting everywhere, and although West Sacramento is not on the coast, we're surrounded by water, just rivers and levees. And so the impact of both sea level rise, but also changes to the forest management, to snowpack, is driving major risks for our people. So we have made a commitment to get to zero new carbon by 2040, maybe even more aggressively. It's one of the most aggressive plans in America to try to do our part to reduce the worst effects of climate change, not just in our city, but around the planet.
Finally, Cabaldon expressed hope that more Filipino Americans would get involved in and make a difference in their respective communities.
There aren't enough Filipino-American elected officials in the United States and not enough mayors. So it's really important to be here and to be visible and to show people who we are as a community and to build support and alliances throughout the country with other mayors.
Cabaldon was just one of more than 220 mayors who attended their annual meeting recently held at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Reporting from Waikiki in Hawaii, I'm Alfred Asenas, 1 with 25.
When visiting the Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. That you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful. The gardens at Ciudad de Victoria are so peaceful, tranquil, and beautiful that it's become a haven for young couples and a very popular venue for engagement photos. The next time you want an escape from the big city, the garden at Ciudad de Victoria is a wonderful place to visit.
Welcome back. Taiwan has extended its 14-day visa-free entry privilege for Filipinos until July 2020, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Manila announced Tuesday night. The government of the Republic of China, or Taiwan, announced on July 2, 2019, that the visa-free privilege for the nationals of the Philippines will continue for another year from August 1, 2019 through July 31, 2020, according to the statement. Taiwan for leisure, business, or other short-term purposes, the statement added. The visa-free privilege aims to further deepen Taiwan's relations with the Philippines, particularly in the areas of tourism, trade, investments, education, agriculture, fisheries, and healthcare. Taiwan stressed that the Philippines is not only its closest neighbor, but also a priority partner in new of the visa-free program since November 2017 has resulted in a rapid increase of Filipinos visiting Taiwan. In 2018, visitors from the Philippines reached 419,000, recording a 44% increase as compared to the number in 2017. Further, regional airlines both from Taiwan and the Philippines have launched more direct flights and opened new routes to the major cities between the two countries. Filipinos have more choices as they can now depart from Taiwan from Manila, Puerto Princesa, Clark, Cebu, and Calibo, helping Filipino travelers save more time and money. President Duterte otherwise known as the new Central Bank Act, and for other purposes on February 14, 2019. According to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the amendments are intended to provide for a more effective and dynamic central monetary authority. The amended BSP charter strengthens the central bank's capacity to foster price stability, financial stability, and a safe and reliable payments system. Enhancing BSP's capability to perform its mandate is ultimately for the economic and financial well-being of Filipinos. Enabling environment for stronger economic growth. A strong and stable financial system ensures efficient fund intermediation between savers and investors and sound risk management. Moreover, a stable payment system supports financial inclusion by providing more unbanked Filipino financial environmental hazards and assess situations for immediate disaster response. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said Duterte approved the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, developed technologies during the cabinet meeting on Monday night. He said one of the technologies, GeoRisk Philippines Initiative, is meant to further improve data gathering for environment hazards, according to Panelo. He adds it is an integrated system for database where one can map or locate hazards in a specific location and view it on an application called the Hazard Hunter Philippines. Panelo said another application situation level decisions for disaster response. He, meanwhile, said the DOST has recommended that all agencies update and share with them their hazard information to further develop the system. Indonesia and Australia are in preliminary talks about making a joint bid for the 2034 World Cup, the Southeast Asian Nations Football Association said Thursday. The neighbors discussed the potential proposal at a special meeting of the ASEAN Football Federation in Laos last week. No comment was immediately available from the Australian side. Widogdo said the PSSI started talks with Australia's Football Federation after Thailand withdrew from a combined bid with Indonesia to host FIFA's Showpiece tournament. The Indonesia-Australia talks come just days after Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha announced that 10 member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Indonesia also plans to team up with Australia in a bid to host the 2021 FIFA $46 million Australian dollars or 32 million US dollars on an unsuccessful attempt to host the 2022 World Cup amid allegations that taxpayer money went to buy votes. And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco and I am one with 25.